Alright, I've got your stream up.
Alrighty, so let's just go. We'll get into friends rankings and we can talk
Restart.
about everyone that is here. Yeah, restarting. So for those who are joining late, the concept of the show is basically just like every Monday or Tuesday we'll try and get on for like about an hour. We'll do a live stream where oh my god, Chubbagetti, wow. we graced with someone far more famous than any of us here. Yeah, we're just basically had a bit of technical difficulties there, Chop, and now we're finally got it that everyone can hear both myself and Jester. And yeah, I'm just going to give an introduction to what we're doing here. So, yep, once a week we're going to try and meet up, have like a 1 hour discussion about the events that happened over the weekend, and maybe like discuss the upcoming rounds. So I guess we'll kick things off by talking about Nations Cup. So for round 4 of Nations Cup, we were in the Suzuki. I need a boomstick. Yeah, I know. I do have a hand for my microphone, but I couldn't be fucked getting it out and setting it all up just for like a one experimental stream.
This is a proper chat show now.
Yeah, we got the interaction with the chat. It's good. So round 4 of Nations Cup, which was it was the Sardinia race, right?
Nations, yes.
Yeah, it was Sardinia at with the Suzuki. So actually, I had a really good result there. So I scored 292, and I think that was for third place behind Ranger and Metal Gear. Actually, it was really surprising that Metal Gear, aka Hole 01, didn't get the win in that one because those are his fucking cars, right? Like sports tires. I mean, that was quite shocking. But I mean, Ranger has been incredibly impressive all this season, basically, like towards the end of GT Sport and then coming into GT7. I think Ranger has like really kicked up his game. He's now constantly matching the top guys. Feel free to kick in here and share your thoughts, Jester. It's not just
on what, Ranger?
Yeah, on Ranger.
It was a fair effort, man. I watched probably 2/3 of the race myself.
Yeah, because I think you were watching Hull's stream, right?
Yeah, at least the first, at least the first 7 or 8 laps. And I think because it was around that point when I'd actually, it was a race between them. They were right on each other, but when I actually seen that Adam had pulled, 3-4 seconds clear, and then the Hull had the same gap on you, I figured it was all cruising for everybody at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much I tried to stay with them in the beginning. I was maybe like in Ranger's slip for like a lap or two, but I had Jeesh Lowell coming up behind me, and like Jeesh was so good under the brakes. Like I felt like I had him covered like through a few of the corners, like the left right in sector 1, and maybe like the left-hander coming onto the back straight, but he would just always make up so much time under braking for the hairpin at the end of sector 2, and especially also the last corner, and he was very aggressive on the throttle. So that was how I went anyway. I think who was it who won? It was Andrew who ended up picking up the win for slot 1. And how did you guys go? Jester, I think you didn't go too well, right? You ended up rage quitting out.
And went backwards in the first one from 7th to 10th for a measly 135. Stupidly went again, and in the first lap went from 7th to 14th, and then just rage quit DNF.
Yeah, I saw basically what was happening, because it's, especially with cars like that, once you kind of get pushed offline and then you're kind of like trying to turn more to get back like onto position and stuff, and that's just like causing you to slide, and then you just lose so much momentum, and just if it happens in the early laps of the race, it's just like one after another car just like come past you, and it just like compounds the problem.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, so Maxi is just chiming in on the chat saying Dan did no practice with fuel, which doesn't really surprise me. It's interesting with Dan. Like, he spends so much time doing like time trials and like world record attempts, for example. Like, he did a 7-hour stream the other night where, I mean, he wasn't there the entire 7 hours, but for a good portion of it, he was just time trialing Monza. And it's crazy how much effort he'll put into time trial, but then he does like very little practice for the actual races.
It's Ken Miles.
What's that?
He's Ken Miles. Even though Ken Miles was great in the race, but he just wants that one perfect lap, son.
Yeah, wants the one perfect lap.
He wants to do it again and again and again.
Hey, what's up,
Just
Awesome?
wants that perfect lap.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess as racing drivers, if we can refer to ourselves as racing drivers, it's like we're always chasing that, right? But
Do
I
you know
mean,
how he went at Monza? Considering,
at Monza, I think
because
he
I'd seen
he
that his time was damn near fourth or fifth in the world. I think right
for the
towards the
time
end of
trial, I'm not
actual.
sure. He said that he was chasing the quickest time. Like maybe Danny, if Danny's still watching, or Maxi might know. I know Maxi watches quite a few of his streams, so Maxi might know. But as far as how he went in the actual races, and we'll get to Manu just in a second, I think he ended up finishing third, but Hero Grand picked up the top points for Nissan that round. But yeah, Wolf, so you haven't been doing Nations, have you, Wolf?
No, I haven't, mate. No.
Yeah, is there like any particular reason like you chose not to do it? You just like wanted to solely focus on Manu, or you just like saw the schedule for this season and thought, nah, fuck that.
Well, at the time, they had the Gazoo Cup going. They had all three races going, actually, and I just decided to do Saturday and Sunday night. But Gazoo decided to have a break for a month or whatever. And so
Yeah, I
I
guess
haven't.
we kind of had that Armageddon round a couple of weeks ago where we had Friday, Saturday, and
3-1.
Sunday. It's coming up again
Vital.
next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, in the SF
F1.
19.
Yeah.
SF 2019. Yeah, I have not done any
Yeah,
practice for that yet, and
Same.
it's
Apparently it's wet.
Nürburgring Grand Prix, which has
it is.
never been a good track for me. Like you remember Jester in GT Sport where we had that round where it was like Audi, Merc, Porsche, etc., and we could choose the mediums and the
The
hards,
German
right?
cars. Yeah.
Yeah, the German cars at Nürburgring Grand Prix, and I was just like so far off the pace that we were doing that practice race, and you were behind me, and you were like, "Are you on the hards meta?" And I was like, "No, fuck you, I'm on the fucking mediums." But you were just
It's
so
one of
much
those
quicker than me at
moments.
that round.
Yeah, I went on to win that round
Yeah, I think you
in
did, right? Yeah,
Nations.
one
Second
of
slot.
your best performances, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
It was a complete weekend.
so just checking in with the chat again. So Distinct Awesome Transum says glad to be competitive in regional, not
It's
just
not Judy.
local.
Oh, that's right. He's a cop, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Awesome. You work as a policeman, right? I think I've seen you kind of allude to that in Chappagetty's Discord a few times. And welcome to the 18 people who are viewing. Go ahead and
That's
smash the like button
incredible.
so that we get some
Give him a
engagement
sub,
here.
guys. Has he got his 150? Have we hit it?
You know, I was at 150 and now I've dropped
Do a
back down to
refresh.
149.
Someone's been a troll. They do that.
Someone unsubscribed, and I
They
think it's
just
probably
want to.
just bots.
They're being a troll. They just want to be that person that goes up, down, up, down, up, down.
But yeah, anyway, so just to finish up on Nations Cup, we'll just go through the top 10. So we've got Andrew obviously leading. He is already qualified for the World Series Showdown, so he's kind of just here to show us all how good he is anyway, not that we don't already know that. Twitchy currently sitting in second, probably a shoe-in to qualify for Salzburg, so congrats to Twitchy. I think I don't think this round's going to be a high-scoring round just because of how ridiculous the combo is. Group B's on Comfort Hards, was it? Comfort Hards or Comfort Softs at fucking Alsace. Of all tracks to choose, the Alsace test course. So I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring round, which will make a lot of pressure on round 6 for Hull and Ranger to try and qualify. Actually, I'm on friends ranking, so let's just actually get over here to regional ranking. So actually, yeah, we've got Conzio sitting in third at the moment. So Conzio is actually a driver which we should talk about. So I noticed him from time to time in GT Sport, but he was definitely never up there, like right at the top with these guys.
What rounds he did.
Yeah, it seems like he picked and chose, and now he's actually putting in some effort, and suddenly he's just like doing incredibly. And yeah, Awesome says that they're going to reveal a new event soon, specifically for Australians. Now, I know a little bit about this event, and it's quite exciting. So it's not an official like polyphonic digital event. It's sponsored by someone else, but I won't say anything just in case I'm not supposed to talk about it yet. But yeah, it's quite exciting, and yeah, so stay tuned for that. And I'm sure that they'll announce that in the coming days. So quickly covering off the rest of the top 10 here, we've got fourth McEwen. He's also pre-qualified for the World Series, so we don't really need to consider him. So that means the third person in contention for a World Series slot is Sidog, who is another driver who, I mean, he's been on the World Tour before, but now has just kind of come back more seriously again in GT7 after taking a bit of a break in GT Sport. And he's been right there. He's pretty much finished third or fourth, I think, in like every single first slot race. So he's going to be pretty tough to beat. And then, of course, Hull, who I don't think is putting in the effort required to qualify. And Ranger kind of just hanging on to these guys. Not quite at their level, but right on them. Like, any mistakes from these guys, and Ranger is going to capitalize. Obviously, Adam is absent from this list at the moment, but he should be up there in the top 10. And then me somehow in 8th place at the moment.
Well done.
Ahead of Lindgren and Yogurt. So pretty happy with that. But yeah, we can move on over to Manu now, just quickly. Yeah, Monza.
I'm going to pull my doodle out.
So Awesome says that basically Distinct rule the whole Asia OCE. Yeah, somewhat. Although, not so much in Asia, right? I mean, there's obviously you and Mistla, but I don't think there's that many other Distinct drivers in Asia, is there, Awesome? Hi, Sheena. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Grey.
Hello, Grey. I thought she was blue, or are you blue?
No, I'm blue.
You're blue.
Okay.
Alright, so obviously Manu Cup, Monza, round 4. I think this is a favourite track of most of us. I mean, some people hate Monza, some people love it.
Says hi. Hello, cat. I say hi to Choppergetty's cat. I love cats.
Yeah, I love cats too. I saw that video you posted on Instagram last night. It was very sweet.
The missus took that photo. He was a baby. Big baby in my arms watching TV with me.
Oh, Jokin dropping in with the sick burn, calling Distinct and calling them the laughing stock of the world. So shots fired from Jokin. I'm sure he's just kidding there.
1D. Don't mess
with 1D.
1D.
Yeah, One Direction. So Distinct says...
Twitchy's Harry Styles.
You spoke Hideo for Manu, Andrew, Barbara for Nations. So I think you and Wolf both had really good results in Manu, right? So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I reckon Wolf.
Yeah, I'm not going too bad. Not as good as you guys, but better.
You're doing better than me, mate. Like, let's take a look at where are you on my friends list at the moment? So you're currently sitting in 11th, actually. So you're ahead of El Rico, who's an incredible driver. So that's something to be proud of. You're right up there with Smoke, actually. So where do you sit in the region, Wolf? If we can scroll down a bit. I think you're definitely in the top 100. Here you go, 92nd at the moment. So ahead of Benaya Theo. Very popular driver, right, Chapagatti, Benaya? It's not like you had a huge run-in with him.
Malodo, doesn't he like him?
No, there was a bit of drama between Benaya and Chapagatti on the Nations race at Sardinia because what happened was Benaya, I think, touched the wall coming out of the left-hander onto the back straight. So Chapagatti went past him. And then as they were approaching the braking zone for the hairpin at the end of the track, Chapagatti moved back in front to take the racing line. And Benaya ended up running into the back of them. And Benaya felt that Chapagatti cut him off, which I don't really think was fair. Like, Chapagatti went back onto the racing line. He was, like, well clear in front of Benaya. And it was, like, probably about 150, 200 meters before the braking zone. So I think it was a fair thing. But Distinct Awesome is saying he dive bombed him on turn 1, lap 1, which, I mean, that happens. Turn 1, lap 1 off of a standing start. You can't necessarily say that's dirty. I would have had to have seen that to see what actually happened there. As we've just hit the 20 people watching now, so that's really good. As Daniel Pinkham says, a bit interesting, Jun Jean is in 97th. I remember him being near the top of GT Sport. Actually, I don't know who this guy is. Has the same name on both his nickname and that. So he's a Japanese driver, but yeah, I'm not actually familiar with him, Daniel. But yeah, Wolf, 260 points in Manu. Is that your personal best?
Yeah, it's probably one of my best, mate. I've been racing a lot of second split lobbies, so I've only been racing for 260 points instead of the 300 points. I'd prefer to be racing for the 300 points. Otherwise, I think I would be doing a lot better. But it's just I'm knocking on the door of the top
well, I'm
split
just
lobbies
taking a
now.
look at your profile page now. So your A+ profile bar is still down pretty low. So you're probably at about 55,000 DR at the moment. So you kind of, to get up to the 300 point lobbies, you're going to need to get about another 10,000 DR. But if you keep on getting these like wins and top threes in the split that you're racing, and you should get up there.
Yeah.
And Jester, so how did you end up going? What score did you end up getting?
211.
211, and that was for second place, if I'm not incorrect, right?
The last slot.
Last
slot. 213 for second in the first slot, 213 for third in the second slot. Then I had last because I pulled into the pits after half the race. And then another one I had like 11th or something like that, but it was actually like a disaster from lap one. Basically, I was following Nitro. I'd qualified 7th. It was a good field. I was actually like, I'd called it. I was like, if I finish top 5 in this field, I'll call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I qualified behind Nitro, and he had made the move early on a GTR in front of him. And as we were coming out of the Ascari, I basically got too much curb and had one of the biggest collisions that I've like crashed. You see how I crashed? I didn't hit anyone. But I did a full kind of 280 degree, 290 degree into the wall, bounced off the wall, did a 720, slipped the car out into like first and second, drifting sideways as like 8 cars ghosted through me. So it was a disaster.
Basically.
But yeah, the final round, all the pressure was on, and the bloke who had won my slot 3 race was there, in a Mustang, killing the WRXs. So first was absolutely gone, and hilariously, basically lap 2, I think the guys watching my stream told me to pit, so I did. It was the first time I did it all night. I was usually pitting lap 8, lap 9. I pitted last. First, went out and just did times, and every lap after that it was like a position, and then eventually come down to like lap 8, and I was 7th. Went around straight to 3rd, and then on the second last lap, the leader pitted. On the second last lap, the leader pitted. Second did not.
Second stayed out, and
second stayed out.
Picked himself up a minute penalty.
As he come around on the last lap to cross the line, he drove into the pits.
Oh, he tried to do the Michael Schumacher in Silverstone 98.
Drive through, not even a stop-go, just a drive through. And then as the guy who was rightfully first came around across the line, and then by the time I came around across the line, this other bloke had already obviously lost his podium, and basically by the time I got down to the first turn, he was down to 10th, and he went from first to last because the fool didn't pit.
Yeah, so for anyone who is watching, you have to pit either on lap, like before the last lap, and you can't pit before the race starts either. So there's been some cheeky people before when they've like been starting towards the back of the field. If they're starting behind the pit lane, like for example at La Maggiore, right, they would pull into the pits on the first lap and then just drive through the pit lane because you can't pit on the first lap and you can't pit on the last lap.
It was quite amusing, and because of the way the race had gone, even at like lap 8, knowing they all had to pit, I was like, all right, podium's sewed up, and probably by 5-6 seconds. But then I'm watching them 5 seconds up ahead as the last lap, thinking, both of them are going to go in. And my reaction as soon as the bloke, I was like, he stayed out, and like Max was playing kind of pit crew chief in the chat and was like, taking note of who had to pit. He's like, he has to pit. Like he's like, you've got second. It's done. And so kind of driving around that last lap was just like, like,
yeah, probably a lot of laughter.
I just had a good laugh basically. And then to get to 11, only 2 points less than the other 2 rounds. But yeah, 5 races, 3 podiums in the Genesis. I have to be really happy with that because it was an absolute WRX and GTR
WRX, yeah, the GTR. Yeah.
And they were all driving there was 1 or 2 that were tight and clean the whole time. And then the rest of them, they were just sending it over curbs, unnecessary battling, and picking up penalties left, right, and centre. And they were so bad, like surprisingly so bad for Oscari. Like they were so hard to follow through there. Like for me to come through in the Genesis and be tapping them through the middle of that turn is like, come on, mate. How fast, how slow are they going? There was no drive on the way out of it.
So have a few comments here in the chat. So Vision Video and Gaming, aka Nismo, says lol Jester GG. Distinct Awesome says, yeah, Wolfman saw me once in GTS. He let me through the field from the P20 and finished P6 on 4th splits. I'm not really sure which race he's talking about there. Awesome. Danny Racing says, yo, sup guys? Sup Danny? Thanks for checking in. And Chuppagetti says, this talk show is actually super good content. You should do more of this. Oh, thanks Chuppagetti. That actually does mean a lot. Would love to have you on as a guest actually. That'd be really cool. Sheena says, hi Danny. And Vision says, hey Danny. So I'll just quickly talk a little bit about my race, which was as happy as you two were with your results. I ended up finishing 3rd for 273, which is my highest score of the season, as anyone who has listened to me whinge and complain all season about McLaren will know. I mean, it was good points, but I was definitely disappointed with the result because I felt like I should have won this race. Monza's probably one of my best tracks in the game, and this was the first race where McLaren was like decently competitive, but I just didn't drive well all night. I was kind of rushing home from my mum's birthday dinner. I was a little bit tilted about some personal stuff that was going on. Yeah, maybe have got COVID, we'll see. And yeah, I was just driving very poorly all night, so I ended up qualifying 4th, I think. Going into the first turn, GTR in front of me, he outbroke himself, and so he ended up kind of clobbering over the inside curb for the second part of the chicane. So I had nowhere to go but kind of into the back of him, and so that killed all my momentum coming out of the first chicane. And so now it was the GTR, myself, and a Muse in the WRS going 3 wide into turn 2. Into the second chicane, and then kind of by the time we cleared the Lesmos, we were already 4 seconds behind the leader. So the win was already out of the question, and then I just had like 3 laps of battling with Amuse in the WRX. He ended up going into the pits, and I tried to, kind of put in the hammer time and drive cleanly, but I was like doing lap times which are like 3 or 4 tenths off of what I was doing in practice. And then I noticed Amuse had caught up to someone who was like running in P6 and overtaken him. And so I thought, all right, I'm going to come into the pits this lap. It was like lap 7 maybe. I was like, maybe he got held up by this traffic, and if I pit now, I'll come out ahead of him, and then I can like just defend these last few laps. But as it was, we came out kind of side by side, and he just got through, and then yeah, that was it. Mum's your word. So that was my story of manufacturers, and then so now we have to look forward to next week, which is for Nations. We've got this incredibly awful fucking race at the Alsace test course in the Group B. And so at the moment, I think the dominant car there is the WRX, although to be honest, I think all the cars are probably pretty evenly matched. And it's probably just, a little bit of a case of everyone follow the leader because they're all horrible to drive anyway. But if we take a look at the times, how are you guys all doing with this one? I guess, Wolf, you're not doing it, but Jester, do you feel like you...
4 or 5 laps, I think. I don't even know if my time is... I think I'm a second off of, everyone else, and then, maybe 2 seconds off the top.
Where are you? I can see it. There you go, top split.
Oh, but yeah, I don't even know. Look at that. Look how far.
Oh, you're in the Genesis. 50.5. Well, there you go. Metal Gear. Confirmed I am the quickest Metal Gear.
Up the ladder.
Yeah.
Hyundai Life, man.
But Ebok's fucking
Ebok
right up there.
is the fastest Lancer in the world, I think. Simon.
Fastest in the world, is he? Oh no, Foss is in front of him, so might have to be settling for second fastest Lancer. But yeah,
he's doing an incredible job in the anti-sheep car.
This is going to be just a completely crazy race because you come over the top of that hill for that right-hander, and if you are not glued to that fucking curb, you lose like 1.5 seconds. Just straight away, 1.5 seconds gone.
Someone get that line right, and then like two dudes coming up behind them that just like spear them that hard that they end up in the opposite wall, and then like all three come back down to go through the kink part as the rest of the traffic comes around, and you've just got a full-blown Daytona pile up. Like it's just going to be great.
It's going to be crazy. Just even does anyone know if it's a standing start or rolling start or what?
Probably standing. They love doing that with rally and comfort.
It's going to be hard to get off the line. So Chopaghetti says he's actually going to pass on this run. So for anyone who doesn't know what this track is, I'm going to put up the replay of it right now. Hopefully you can still hear me. So Danny's saying it's going to be a standing start. God damn, this is going to be crazy. So you see, you come through here, and everything seems normal so far. I mean, very low grip, but okay. If this was just like a normal track like Tsukuba or something, it would be okay. But now look at this fucking turn. We'll go into chase turn.
You can't.
You need to be on this curb. This is like a railway track. If you're not on that curb, you lose so much time. And I mean, this is the fastest time in the world, and this guy's making it look easy.
It is a roller coaster, isn't it?
But this is not easy.
Curb cam.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, yeah, this guy really is making it look easy, but I'm sure everyone who's watching has tried it out themselves. I mean, it's crazy. Did you try it out, Wolf? You should just do it even just for fun.
No, I haven't
just to punch some top split.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be the lowest scoring round of the season. I think a lot of people are going to miss it.
I'm pretty sure Metal Gear has got the world record for this track on license tests, actually.
Yeah, for the license test, we can actually go check that out. It's like it's like the A something, right? Where are the license tests? License center. It's good that they actually did add the, I think it's International B, right? In the BMW. There we go. No, Red Bull Ring. There we go.
Yeah, fuck, it was hard. I remember even watching Chopaghetti do it.
Yeah, this was the first one where I think I like really struggled to do it.
It was hard. First time I completed it, I was like, yeah. It's
so
like 4 seconds off the gold on one that's like 20 seconds long. I was just
So Indeed Hole does have the world record for this license test. Unfortunately, you can't see replays of it. That's a bit of a shame. But yeah, it's definitely a difficult one.
Yeah, it is.
Oi, Maxi. That's my friends list. I was like, Maxi, 6th in the world. But no, he must be a little bit lower than that. It only shows you the top 10.
I'll have you know, I'm number 1 on my friends list in 4 particular missions. They're all drag missions.
Yeah.
And I'm number 1 on my friends list. So I'll set that out there to people. Legit, go have a look.
I haven't even done a drag race yet, so I haven't.
They're actually cool. They're actually cool because all the assists and shit are turned off. Like, I wish there was a way we could actually set them up ourselves, like rather than having a meet at a speedway.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Actually, this segues into. So we have an update coming this week, probably on Thursday. We all know we're going to be getting the Pikes Peak Suzuki Pikes Peak Escudo, right? Now, Polyphonic Digital does have the license to Pikes Peak for the actual track. It's been in the game before. It wasn't the real version. It was like a 3-minute version of the track or whatever. I don't know if it's just a small segment of it.
Boycotting Gran Turismo.
Yeah, Chopaghetti going to ACC. But how would everyone feel who's both in the chat and also here on the stream? How would you guys feel if, let's say, round 6 is announced and it was Pikes Peak and it's just a time trial, basically? We all just get one go, bottom to top, set the fastest time, rather than it being a race. Do you reckon that would be something that's like popular, or do you think everyone would hate that?
I think it'd be cool. I think a lot of people would hate it. Pikes Peak is not easy, and it'd take it's a big course.
Yeah, it's like a 9-10 minute lap, depending on the car.
But I could never see it being Pikes Peak just because of the way this game is, the physics, the look. Like, what are you going to go off the edge? I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, they've had, I don't know if you remember back in Gran Turismo 4, they had the Grand Canyon track. And so if you just went off the edge, it kind of just like, you saw the car like fall for a short period of time, and then it would just like reset you back on track. Basically, like if you cut the chicane at Monza, you just get reset back on track, right?
I personally would love that, though. I only said yesterday that I wish the time trials that they update now, that they should keep them, like, introduce Pikes Peak as that, obviously, the time trial first up, but keep the time trial as, like, that N24 Le Mans, like the bigger tracks, and basically, have people battle it out. But I think Pikes Peak should be, like I said in another group chat the other day when someone said the cars that were coming, the Ford excited me more, and then I said I would prefer Pikes Peak, the track, not the car. The car was a game breaker back in the day, so it's going to be interesting to see.
I'm sure we'll get some fast credit farming tunes for it straight away.
It's a game breaker, absolute game breaker.
Just to check in on the chat, so Chapagetti says no way to that idea. And then he says he'll crash on the mountains. Probably, yeah. Vision says it would be cool as a one-shot only, like in real life. And Jokin says, I think no round should be told in advance so that people can't do 4 hours of practice for it, which Vision says he agrees with. And I almost agree as well. I think it would be good if the races were like a little bit more like, only announce them like an hour beforehand or something like that, so that we kind of just all have to use our like natural skill rather than whoever has the most time to practice for it. I think it would be good. Any thoughts on that, Jester?
I agree, man. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, that'd definitely come into play. No practice.
I'm one that I think I can adapt like that. You've always said I'm better, at least in terms of jumping from car to car and track to track, just because of daily experience, and then also just when we are at the zenith of our addiction to the game, where you are practicing everything and jumping through everything basically.
Wait, Simon's been here this whole time? Or was that like a soundboard thing?
It would be cool to... No, we're all still in the room. I was going to race as soon as I finished eating. But yeah, it would be cool to definitely like have it. It's like, the eve of the season when we've got no idea, and then we've got one day and 24, like even that would be better. But I think it's always going to be an issue where people have the time, people don't. And then
Lousy...
like with consoles, you've got to try and balance, like, what's hardcore, what's not.
Yeah. Lousy just chimed in with that there should be bonus points for good liveries, as he needs all the points he can get.
I think you should, like, genuinely, like, if you have your own livery on the car, there should be, like, at least some fucking bonus money or something like that. Or if, like, if they're renting a car, they should get less money, etc.
It's called getting an actual sponsor. You need to write to V and actually get them to sponsor you.
Oh, mate, we've tried.
You've actually tried?
No, but I've been, like, harassing them on Instagram, that's for sure.
So here's Vision's idea. There should be a time slot which includes a short practice, then quali, then the race. So like maybe if it was like a 1 hour or 90-minute time slot where basically you get like a 10-15 minute practice session, then 10 minutes qualifying.
The way ACC does it is you don't really know, I think, until about 3 hours before.
Okay.
You can't practice it at all unless you go and put up, your own private lobby or practice session or whatever. And then, essentially everyone goes into the pre-lobby, the practice, and I think it goes for 10-15 minutes, and then there's quali, then the race.
It'd be interesting.
Same thing applies there.
So Jokin says he doesn't have the spare time to do 400 laps, but that's just him. He has work and a life outside of the game. I don't have any life, so that allows me to practice quite a bit, but I'm usually too lazy for it anyway. So I mean, I think that pretty much covers nations. So we'll just do a little bit on Manu, and then I just want to get to the subject of Gallo quitting the game. So Manu this week is going to be at my favorite track in the game, sarcasm, Daytona Infield. Basically, it's almost like a reverse of what we did in the test season, where instead of 5 times fuel, we're going 5 times tires, and it's I believe, is it all 3 tires are available for quali, but it's MH required in the race. Have you guys done any practice yet?
Speaking of which, I have a lobby up for that very thing right now for friends only.
Okay, there you go, guys.
But everyone that's in this chat has pretty much got me, so feel free to come in because I'm just having a little snack. I'm going to race in about 5 minutes.
I know that Awesome was saying last night that he wants to practice, so yeah, if you don't have Awesome as a friend, yeah, I know you guys have had your little run-ins in the past, but maybe Awesome can come in and practice as well.
Talks to me like I'm a child and thinks I'm a piece of shit.
No, actually, it's not like that. I think we all should be right. We all love Awesome now. But yeah, let me just quickly take a look at the... Sorry, it's because my fucking camera's in the way. I need to put it into a different place. So I can't actually see where I'm clicking half the time.
Can you watch the whole thing?
What's that?
Sorry, I was talking to Mrs.
Alright, so checking out... Right. I'm going to guess that the Supra's... Yeah, there we go. Supra is absolutely dominating the timing board. I don't think none of us are in Toyota this season, are we? Like, of our group of friends.
Can't think of anyone.
Can't think of anyone, yeah. I was considering choosing Toyota. It was one of my kind of 3 that I was testing pre-season until Jester bullied me into choosing McLaren. I don't know if Simon's got his voice share on, but if you can hear that in the background, that's TPGN E-Bulk, aka Banana Split, aka Simon, just in the background there. I'm not sure what he's practicing at the moment. But Wolf, it looks like you got a pretty decent time, 43.4. That's quicker than a few very quick guys on my list, so nice work.
Yes.
What have I got there?
Let's take a look. So Awesome is actually there on a 43.3 as well. We got Danny on a 43 flat. I know he wants a 42 pretty badly, don't you, Danny? Foz now just checking in, saying g'day. Hey Foz, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. So where are you, Jester? Are you quicker than me now? There you are. So Genesis 44.4 for Jester. Not bad, I gotta say.
43.9.
You reckon 43.9? You reckon?
Yeah, no, that's like absolute limit.
Half a second.
It's 100% there because it's already been there on the Delta, and it's always either picking up the penalty at the bus stop or coming into the bus stop too slow.
Oh, okay.
It's one or the other, give or take. Everywhere else on the course, the Genesis, and shit, man, I drove the other Genesis tonight, just stuffing around this lobby. The way that thing puts its power down is just, it's going to be a weapon.
Who's the top scorer for Genesis at the moment?
Hyundai or Genesis?
Hyundai, the one you're with.
God, I can't think of it. It's one of the Japanese teams. They usually represent it. V1s.
Oh, okay.
Like
It looks like the
1-2.
I might have missed
Sub-Zero and then me.
Yeah, Sub-Zero. I might have missed one, but the top Genesis I could find is a Thai guy, V-Motors Esteban.
If I managed to get into a 250, 260 win round last week, I'd be third still. But Sub-Zero's pit me now.
Distinct audio. Do you know who this guy is? Obviously you would, Awesome, this Thai driver. But yeah, Wolf sitting there 126 in the world at the moment. So we're getting a lot of activity on the chat, so I'll just quickly read that. So looks like Awesome having a go at Blue Phoenix over something. P26. On my friends list, yeah. Nearly accurate. Gopi and Hyper Z also in the old GTR. Gopi being TX3 GTR for those who don't know. Vision says, hey Foss. Distinct says, if you mention Hyundai, shows how bad Nissan is this round. Danny saying about Nissan.
I was just about to
Sheena
start.
says, hi, Foss. And Jokin asks, what happened to the PX7 gang? Well, as far as I know, PX7 still exists, but they're primarily just American and Canadian, North American drivers now. I don't know if there's any PX7 drivers still left in Europe. Certainly there isn't here in Oceania. Never really got the full story about what happened with Guy and Andrew on PX7, and obviously
Don't start.
Yeah,
Tezza
no, I'm
as
not
well.
starting immediately. All good.
Awesome says drama. I won't tell. Okay.
It's always drama.
Not sure if he's referring to PX7 or not specifically
Mentioning
there.
drama is only propagating drama. Propagating.
Now, I didn't see a lot of 650Ss in the top 100 there. The one driver I'm usually having to chase in the 650S is Bo from Hong Kong. He's on a 44.1 at the moment, so that just shows what a fucking struggle it is for McLaren right now. I think Consta said that the other McLaren is actually better, but I don't think it's available, and I stupidly didn't buy it when it was. Let me just quickly check in the Legend cars. I'm guessing it's not there.
This will be perfect. Just this replay alone, we're going to get 3
Oh,
of the
is
Daytona
that-
Thundercars.
Wait, is that... No, that's not the Group 3. Is that the Group 3 one?
I
Group
changed
2.
those.
God damn it. God damn you, Polyphonic Digital. Put the Group 3 one there so I can buy it. Not the fucking Group 2 one. No one cares about the Group 2 one. What the fuck is that? Chaparral. This looks like someone's bathtub, wheels got put on. This looks like a car that Homer Simpson would make.
Everyone used that car to pass a mission where you had to beat 1979 and lower race car, like old road cars and shit.
Oh my god,
And
look at
they
the
all
back.
used
Is that two washing machines sitting next to each other?
They all used that or the GT40 for an hour-long race at Alsace, and I won in a Jeep.
You won in a Jeep. Jokin says it's a ground effect car, and Chupaghetti says it was the god car in GT6. I didn't play GT6, so I didn't play GT5 or GT6 as a matter of fact. It's a fan car, yeah, quite literally. Vision says it's awesome, so who knows? Maybe it'll feature in. Maybe this will be the car we're using in round 6 of Nations.
Everyone, get a Jeep, put a turbocharger in it, and just go have fun at Bathurst or something. Seriously, it's great car. 4 gears, 4-wheel drive. It's off its head. Better than that bloody suicide machine.
Fair enough. Alrighty, so we're coming up to about an hour that we've been live now. So we'll get into the last kind of subject, and then we'll throw it over to the chat for any questions. So during the week, our current world champion and current Olympic champion, it always feels silly saying that, Olympic champion for Gran Turismo, Valeria Gallo decided that he's walking away from the game. He's had enough of the problems.
Restart, Joe.
Not that I want to throw any shade at anyone, but it seems like part of it might be that Honda isn't super competitive in the current BOP. So,
Hello,
what do you guys think? Especially you guys in the chat. Is GT7 coming to the point where we're going to start hemorrhaging players, or is just everyone complaining and just because people love to complain? Look at it at the end of GT Sport, everyone complained, complain, and then we get GT7, and at first it's this is awesome, and then it's complain, about the credits. They fix the credits, and then it's complaining about other stuff. I think ultimately people just will always find something that they have problems with. I'm willing to admit that there are a lot of problems with GT7, but I think it serves a very unique niche, with the console racing, there's not a lot of competition for it. I know that, Jester, you were saying earlier that it not having competition shouldn't be an excuse for the problems that it has. But nonetheless, I think we see a lot of people saying they're quitting this game, and then a week later they're back, because this is a very unique game, and it serves an itch, and other sims don't necessarily scratch that itch for those people. Because something like ACC,
some hardcore, some are not realistic.
Yeah, exactly. It's iRacing. It's you need the PC and the costs. Some of them, they don't have the good graphics.
That's the thing. ACC or iRacing, regardless, if you want them to play well and look good, then you need a couple of $1,000 investment. and not everyone. That's literally why the console market exists. So for people, that's where meta is right. That like there will always be those people, no matter what the game is reduced to or the community is reduced to. There's always going to be people who, one, can't afford to go to PC, or two, just refuse to go to PC. They'd rather have something, easier to understand and use and more accessible, basically. What they're used to. Why do I still have softs on?
Should be stuck anyway.
So the chat is actually checking in with this. So Jokin says he's off to iRacing. Chavagetti says iRacing is very nice, but it's a bloody money pit. Yeah, that's definitely true. Lounsey says people are going to ACC and iRacing.
But even Chavagetti ACC on the PS5, mate, it's still not ACC on a PC. Like it's not even close. Like I think it's 60 frames a second, which is great. That's a big improvement over the last one, but it's still half of what a PC could do. It's got no mods. It doesn't have a very supported multiplayer competition league type thing, and then it barely has a community playing that on the PlayStations.
On the PlayStation, yeah.
The PS5 one is a lemon chopper, and I was keen for it myself, but knowing people who got it and had it on PS4 or on the Pro or whatever, the difference between them is nothing but the frame rate. All the like I noticed even with your streams, you're doing the AI stuff, which is the best way to play the game, honestly, because you'll go to do like one of the once you've got your safety rating up to 70, so you can be competitive. You'll go to do the matching, and you'll match with 3-4 people of either very high skill or very limited skill. And you'll be faced with a 1 hour long race of 2 or 3 people that may or may not even finish the race. And then when you actually finish the race, you don't earn any competition points. It's still broken. And ACC was meant to be like on the PS5. It was meant to be like the way they promoted it was meant to be like it was exactly on the PC. It is not. If you have it and you've got it on PS5 and have it on the PC, continue to play it on the PC because it's not the same game. Look forward to ACC 2. Hopefully that one's going to be what ACC is.
Yeah, he's talking about the PS5 version.
It's so that it's just 60 frames. The PC has a massive community for ACC. Me and Meta were talking about before how whenever you see a new car or a new track or a new whatever, it's always a Assetto Corsa that people trial it on.
And that actually makes me want to talk about, it was either yesterday or today, GT Planet obviously ran an article saying how ACC is replacing Gran Turismo as like the official FIA kind of game, yada, yada, yada. And I think there was a few people who were a little bit confused that meant that the GT World Series is cancelled. So I just want to throw that out there straight up. The GT World Series is not cancelled. It's still going ahead, and it's been known since before GT7 even came out that the FIA accreditation for these events, the partnership wasn't being continued. Who's the dude talking to me, Meta? We've got this is Jester, aka TPGN _Jester. So you can he's a fellow YouTube streamer in case you've never heard of him. So check him out.
Sorry guys, I'm resetting it up.
Feel free to throw your profile link in the chat, Jester.
I posted a video before. I'll just post it again because that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, no problems. And then we've also got TPGN Wolfman in here as well, aka Brett, and Simon in the background occasionally saying fuck.
Yeah, sorry guys. I got distracted by the talking and then I fucked up the tyres and then I quit the room.
So the new update cars, Lounsey, we believe are the Pikes Peak Escudo and a Group 3 version of the Suzuki GT Vision. Now, we've already seen, if you go to the Gran Turismo website and go to the manufacturer series, and when you can choose to sort the points by different manufacturers, and there's a drop-down list of all the different manufacturers, Suzuki has been added to that list. So that probably means what's going to happen is they're going to offer people a chance to change manufacturers between Season 1 and Season 2. The way they did this last time was when the Mazda RX Vision was released, and they said that anyone can change manufacturer. If you do, you'll lose your points. Now, how that will work with it being probably coming in between Season 1 and Season 2 anyway, I don't know, because the points from Season 1 aren't being carried over to Season 2 anyway. So we may just basically get a free chance to change manufacturer. What I'm hoping is that they will give people the chance to change manufacturer, and I'm hoping that with that we will get a BOP update. I'm hoping what won't happen it will just be you have a chance to change to Suzuki if you want. So we'll see which ones, we'll probably get the update on Thursday, so we'll know more then, and we can discuss it on next week's show. But yeah, I think we've pretty much covered all the subjects that I wanted to cover today. So if we've got, we're at the 1 hour mark now. I mean, we started a little bit late because of technical difficulties. So if you guys in the chat have any questions for any of us, we can cover that now for a few minutes. And then we'll wrap things up. And everyone who wants to practice the Manu series can jump on over to Jester's lobby. So, opening up the floor to the chat, and also to, Jester and Wolf, if you guys have anything you want to add, jump in.
Yep. Yeah, get your questions, ladies.
So, Danny reckons that Supra is going to get a minus 2% power, which is probably, I agree. The Supra is definitely, it's the new McLaren F1 in terms of top speed. Jokin says not a question, but your new haircut looks mint. Thanks, Jokin. It's very nice. I was considering growing it to be as long as Jester's, but I thought, fuck that, it'll just take too long. For those who don't know, Jester has very long hair. You can check him out on Instagram if you haven't seen him already. Alrighty, well, it seems like we're not really getting any questions from the chat, so I think we should wrap things up. I reckon this has gone really well. Thanks for everyone who's watched, and thanks to Jester and Wolf for coming on and joining me today. Check out my OnlyFans.
That's right, check out his OnlyFans.
Yeah, well, my Instagram does have some nudity on it. Not hardcore, just softcore, tasteful. So if you guys do want to follow me on Instagram, my account name is Meta7Gear. Also, I am on Twitter, so I occasionally drop hot takes about F1, basketball, and of course Gran Turismo. So Danny says, see you later, mate. Jokin says, well done, Meta. And well done to everyone. Anyone who wants to jump into Jester's lobby for some Manu practice, I suggest getting over there now because I think they're about to start. They're pretty keen to start.
We've had many technical errors.
Exactly.
What do you know? You had one going at the moment.
I just restarted one. Went to set it up before, done all the settings, and I'm at bloody Isle Speedway, whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, the Northern Isle Speedway.
Classic
I think
Jester move.
The only time that track has ever been... The only time that track's ever been done is when people accidentally select it for fucking... for a lobby. Yeah. By the way, Polyphonic Digital, if you're watching, Kaz, if you're watching, please fucking... alphabetical order list for the tracks in lobby. Why is it that hard to do?
Fix the lobbies.
And fix the lobbies, just in general. But we'll see.
Just let us change the tracks, let us save the settings, let's see what will happen on Thursday. Just let us fix the lobbies, alright?
Yeah. Alright, with that, we'll cut it off there. So that's your stream. Bye.
Well done.